Hey, Ido Protein Nation worldwide. Happy 2021 yet again. I'm so excited. We got the first show of the brand new year. I hope this year is going better for you than it has been for me. But we're just not going to go there. So for those of you who might be new to the show, I think we're going to have some new viewers and listeners today. The Life Possible podcast was created to spotlight successful clients, coaches, and clinic owners who've used the Ideal Protein protocol to transform their lives. These individuals have truly changed their lives to a point where they're pursuing goals and dreams they never thought they could. They're pursuing goals and dreams they thought were dead and gone. They're pursuing goals and dreams they didn't even know they had. In short, they're living their own life possible. It's my hope that you will listen to these people's stories. You'll be able to connect with something and understand that if they can do it, you can do it too. And your life possible is out there waiting for you. So who am I and why would I even do this? Well, my name is Dr. John Barnes. And I got to tell you, 5 years ago, I guess there's really no delicate way to put this. I was fat, sick, and depressed. And literally, the Ideal Protein protocol came to me as the answer to so many of my prayers, both personally and professionally. I was able to do the protocol, drop 45 pounds, and literally transform my life. I got to a point where I never thought that I was ever going to feel good again. And I had given up hope. But wow, what a transformation for me personally. So that I've spent the past 5.5 years researching and understanding every aspect of why the power of this protocol is more what it does for us on the inside than necessarily changing our outsides. So now, 5.5 years later, I find myself over 60 pounds down from this original picture. And not only that, but my life possible has been to pursue the sport of triathlon again after over 25 years of inactivity. I never dreamed, if you'd have told me 6-7 years ago that I would be running in triathlon again, racing in triathlon, I would say you have got to be crazy, because there's no way I could drag my butt across the street, hardly. So that's why I'm doing this. All right. So enough about me. Let's go on to our guest for today. Our featured guest today is Cindy Novakowski. I am reaching way up high into Canada again. Cindy lives in a place called Salmon Arm, British Columbia. And she'll tell you, as soon as she told me that, I have not stopped with I had no idea that salmon had arms. And this is still something that I'm blown away by. But I guess that's why they swim so fast, right? So she lives in Salmon Arm, British Columbia, but she owns her Ideal Protein clinic, which is called Pratt's Wellness and Weight Loss, in a place called Kamloops, British Columbia. In 2013, Cindy lost over 70 pounds herself on her own Ideal Protein journey. So she was client first. And then very shortly after that, she opened her own Ideal Protein clinic. So she became coach and clinic owner. So once again, someone who fulfills all of the different roles. You are really in for a treat with Cindy. So let's not waste any further time and let us add Cindy and bring her. Hey, how are you, Cindy?
I'm really well. New earphones, the whole thing. It's good.
It's been quite a day for you already. We had a great discussion as to and I told you, like I said, this happens to everybody. There are forces that are conspiring to not get these wonderful shows out, but your story has to be told. So I'm so glad we've got everything together.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
So I do want to tell. So, again, this is a funny story as to how we met. And Cindy had contacted me after one of my podcasts and messaged me on Facebook, like I ask everybody to do, if they have a client who they want to have on their show. on my show. And so Cindy, she messaged me, and I tend to be very scatterbrained and all over the place. And I told her, great, this is so wonderful, I'll get back to you, and just promptly forgot. And so it went on the back burner. And then weeks later, months later, I get another message from her. She was persistent. Hey, I'm telling you, I've got a client that I want to have on your show. And so I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let's video chat. Let's meet and talk about this client. And unfortunately, I was so, well, fortunately or unfortunately, I was so enamored with Cindy and her story that I said, no, I'm sorry. I have got to feature you as a guest first, right? And we will get your client on the show, I promise. But it's just, you're so cool. As with so many of my British Columbia friends, you're so cool.
Yes.
And there are so many aspects to your life and your story. I will confess, as I confess to you, when we started talking about your client and your clinic and all those things, I was sizing you up, and I said, yo, here's a clinic owner who, she probably didn't ever need to lose weight, and, blah, blah, blah. And then you said, oh yeah, no, I lost 70 pounds. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth. Wow. It's one of those things that you just you kind of forget about in some ways, except for when someone says, well, clients will say that, right? Like, well, what do you have to say about, do you really know? And then you're like, oh, maybe I should try and dig out that Facebook picture like
Right.
you put on that.
Absolutely.
Horrifying. And they often say exactly what you said. That's not you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly what I said. So, and we kind of had to redesign a before and after picture. But tell us about, I love your before picture in the mud. Tell us the story about that. And it just goes, let's just start from the very beginning. Okay.
Sure.
How did you find out about Ideal Protein? And then we'll come back. We will definitely come back to this picture here. Tell us.
You gotta love the story, even though of my first initial offering of what Ideal Protein was. A friend of mine, a coworker, was doing the program, and there I was, pretty overweight, going, that can't be healthy. she toted her big containers, Ziploc containers, to the office. She was a PE teacher, and she was eating all these raw veggies and drinking some drinks, could see her going through the hallway, chugging back her protein drink. And of course, the weight was falling off of her. I mean, she was, very athletic, had lots of muscle to burn all those calories, really.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then, we went on a trip together, actually, later that year in the summer, and that's the before picture you have there is me in Africa. I went with two other ladies and my friend Lori, who had done the program. And you can see we had just actually gone through this was a fish harvest that we did in a mud bog kind of thing in Africa. So that's why I'm all full of mud.
Fish harvest in a mud bog.
Yeah, it's in Africa. They grow fish. It's kind of crazy, but I can't even think. Tilapia. It grows in kind of a pond, and the bottom of it is quite muddy, and they drain the ponds, right? So then you hop in, and they catch the fish, because as the water drains, there's a filter, and they're catching the fish and pulling them out. But a whole bunch of fish will stay in the mud. So then you have to climb into the mud. And I mean,
oh my God,
being I'm trying to remember it now. It was awful.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be able to forget that.
Being that weight and trying to pull yourself through that mud and catch these little fish and is terrible. And then you got to try and pull yourself up out of that goo.
Oh my God.
I mean, and then you're supposed to have your photo taken. I was so comfortable in my own skin. You put
Yeah.
that, I joked with you earlier, you kind of, I'm going to be thin. I'm going to suck in my gut. I'm going to step my 1 foot forward. I'm going to kind of lean to the side.
You were posing, that's for sure, right?
You can see I kind of have my head tilted back. Yeah.
And you
Jeez.
know what? I love that though, right? There are so many tricks, right? There are so many
Oh,
hide behind you. You were stuck because they wouldn't
oh,
let you hide behind them, right? I did
yeah.
cut the other two of your friends out of those
Yeah.
pictures, out of that picture. But that usually the biggest trick is just to be in the back, right? We've all done it. I mean, when you get to
Yeah.
the place where we started,
Oh,
again, and you even said, and I was like, wait, I have to even find a picture that has you in it because you just avoid taking pictures, right?
oh yeah. I talk to clients often about that. How long it takes for your conscious and your subconscious to connect after you go through weight loss change, and when you have your new you.
You've been
Um,
holding that on me. This is gold.
right. So this is something we didn't talk about. Sorry. So what's funny is there's the two options. There's the person who continues to see themselves as their heavy self. They
Hmm.
have a really hard time recognizing their new self, right?
Hmm.
And then you have the
Absolutely.
other version. You have the crazy person like me. Sorry, the other people aren't crazy, just me. Um, they look in the mirror and you know what they see? They see their 21-year-old selves.
Yes.
They don't recognize their overweight self. I think it's a trigger of self-preservation, to be honest. But anyways, so pictures taken, you get rid of them because, well, I can't possibly look that terrible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh my. Yeah. So much in that whole thing, and we're gonna have to do that on another show.
yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, the other part about it too, right? As you're getting into doing this ideal protein thing, you've got this coworker, this friend of yours, PE teacher, right? PE
Yeah.
teacher who has to lose a lot of weight. Um, and one of the things that I think is so fascinating about that is that people who are in fitness or in PE or things like that oftentimes don't necessarily resemble that lifestyle, right? Um, and the interesting part of that, and myself included, I've got 2 personal training certifications, and my undergraduate degree was in exercise, and I still allowed myself to gain so much weight and become obese, right? I had no idea what happened to my metabolism. I was totally unaware of insulin resistance, totally unaware of that metabolic change. So that when I finally went back to what I knew, oh, eat less and exercise more, and it didn't work. That literally it blew my mind, and it also just made me give up.
Right. And that's what really brought me to Ideal Protein. That it was that previously I had lost weight. I had worked really hard at it. I had used um, it was a little bit lower carb, and it was, exercise more, eat less, like really it was. And it had worked at that point in my life. For emotional reasons, I had literally made a conscious decision. It's okay. I'll worry about my weight if I get over 200
Mhm.
pounds.
Yep.
And I mean, it was beyond 6 months that after, my friend doing the program, that I was kind of like so desperate, because when I got to be over 210 pounds, I was like really feeling sick. Get out of bed in the morning, and my feet were in so much pain when they would first touch the floor. It
Yeah.
was like I actually went and bought Birkenstock sandals to be my slippers, because I was like, that's got to help, right?
Right.
Um, they were so sore. I had tingling lips, tingling fingertips. I mean, I was a metabolic disaster, really. I didn't know that though. I just
Yeah.
was like, I need to lose weight. So,
Right.
I tried what worked before. Nothing worked. Instead, I gained weight, right? And the
Yep.
frustration, then I blew out my knee. So it was really bad. And the final catalyst was at Christmas. So those pictures are from the summer of 2012.
Yep.
Christmas 2012, my brother passed away, and we had to travel. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to wear to the funeral? And I had to do the eulogy. And I was, like, okay,
Wow.
I had been a secretary at the school. I was like, okay, I'll pull out that blouse, right? And I couldn't do it up. It was the most awful feeling,
Oh,
like
right.
to travel and have to, like, especially during the Christmas season, to travel and have to try and figure out, like, what the heck am I gonna wear? I'm gonna
And
be
stand up
standing in
in
front
front
of
of, yeah.
people that don't know you. You're so self-conscious. So I bought these pair of pants on sale because who wants to spend money on something you're not going to wear again? And I joked about it because that's what you got to do when you feel really self-conscious,
Yep.
right? I joked about, if I pass out at the front, let everybody know it's not because I'm nervous. This is what I told my sister-in-law. It's because my pants are too tight and just unbutton them. Like, who says that?
You say
So,
that. I after getting to know you over the past couple of weeks, I can totally see you saying that.
so the month of January, I spent like, what am I going to do? These other things didn't work. And then I was like,
Right.
absolutely desperate. Maybe I should look into that thing that my friend did, right?
Right.
Had my consultation. Is ketosis safe? Right? Wow, it's expensive, right?
Yep.
So had the consultation. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This kind of makes sense. Deplete your glycogen. So, but I'm like, but is it safe? So, thanks for the information. I got to go home and decide, whether or not we can afford it. So I
Still
went
kicking the
home and did
tires.
the research, right? Did the
Right.
research. Yeah. And then we ended up choosing to get going. My husband and I did it together.
Yeah. Well, and too, um, another another story that I think only you guys could accomplish. Um, Now tell everybody, when you finally made this decision after hemming and hawing and pushing it off, et cetera, what was the timing of that during the year? And yeah, tell us this story.
Yeah, so it's, like I said, we were sort of exploring this mid-January, took a week to decide. It's getting closer to the end of January. My husband is like a numbers kook. He's like, okay, we have to start February 1st. I'm like, okay, we'll start February 1st. So that's a Friday.
Okay.
We had our starter bag. We're excited. We're thinking about, okay, what vegetables are we supposed to eat, doing the whole thing. And then he's like, oh my God, Sunday's Super Bowl Sunday. We can't start on Friday. Monday. Monday's a great day to start. We can start on a Monday. That's the beginning of the week. It makes complete sense. I looked at him. I said, no way. There is no way. You pick February 1st. So I said, hey, if we can get through Super Bowl Sunday, we can get through anything.
Oh my God. And that's so that'll be like day 2, day 3, right?
It was day 3. I mean, you're so freaking hungry. Like, we had such, like, I tell clients, you might experience hunger. I do tell them that. I said, on day 2, I'll rip my arm off and eat it. Like, it was, I was so hungry. Lots of veggies.
Yeah, there you go. And so you made it through Super Bowl Sunday and day 3.
We did. Yeah. It was a lot of hiding out. It was a lot of, I'm just going to help out in the kitchen. My friend actually was like to me, why aren't you drinking any pop? I'm trying to cut back on my sugar.
There you go.
Oh yeah, no, I just had some of that. We brought the veggie platter, the best advice for every client when you go somewhere, take a veggie platter. We brought a veggie platter. My husband in the dark theater room watching the game was like scarfing down all the celery sticks and dipping it in his ideal protein sauce, pretending it was chicken wings.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Whatever it takes.
So your husband decided to take this journey with you, and you did it as a couple. Let's explore couples doing ideal protein, your experience as both a client and a coach.
Right. So what's great is you're eating the same things, and we had 3 kids at home at the time too. So we just ate like we normally do. You know, it wasn't that we didn't try to eat healthy before starting, but we ate out a lot, that kind of thing. And so our kids we were on the program, ate what we ate, but we just added in that carb. So it did make life easy that, you know, I didn't have to try and please everybody. But my husband lost so much weight so fast. He has a nickname a guy gave him the one time, just because he is a very large statured person. He's like over 6'4", you know, was a former professional hockey player. Yeah. So he's a diesel burner. That's what we call, he's got the nickname Diesel, right? So he lost like just a ton of weight. Like, just
you know,
flying off him.
Muscle, right?
I wasn't losing quite as fast. I mean, we talked about a big glycogen tank, right? Like, I lost 8.6 pounds week 1, which was crazy in my world. Are you kidding?
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it was kind of discouraging, but still I was encouraged at 8.6. I mean, who can be disappointed with that?
Absolutely. Well, but again, right? So your husband has this, you've got a good glycogen tank, but you know, all that muscle on his body from the hockey. So did you answer me this then, or because our listeners need to learn too, right? So did you guys go to appointments together? Was this a full on togetherness thing? We're going to the appointment together, same coach, same time, or did you go separately?
Oh, no way, Jose. That'd be bad news bears. We had separate appointments. Separate appointments. My appointment had to be about me, not about him.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. And also too, you know, you don't want to be in the same room when you're both getting your results. And it, you know, do you allow couples to come at the same time in your office?
That's a really good question, John, because couples that are doing it together kind of think that, you know, it makes sense. It's easy for us to show up. It's convenient. The reality is we tell our clients, you know what? You're doing it together, but you each have your own journey. And the same advice isn't what we're going to give both of you. Our program is not cookie cutter, right? So and then you have freedom to talk about what you really need to talk about, focus in on the individual and what they need. So we do not allow clients to come in together.
And what an eloquent way to put that. And every time I have guests on the show like this and we talk, I just think to myself, dude, how do you even coach clients? These people are so amazing. And I'm absolutely stealing that. I'm absolutely using that. You know, with me, they usually come in together and I say, okay, here's the thing. I'll let you guys come together. But if I have to separate you once, we're doing separate visits. Okay. Because, and the dynamic when they're together is hilarious because one will throw the other under the bus in a heartbeat, right? And it's easier if they do it in separate. Oh, I can't believe he lost weight. I saw him eating a cookie in the pantry the other day, and so yeah, it's a whole phenomenon, right?
Exactly. It's not a great thing. It's so good that two people decide to do it at the same time and to support one another.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense to transform your life with your best friend, your spouse. That makes so much sense. Have that support. But it is, you want to focus on you. You want to focus on the changes that you want to make.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of times too, I will want those individual visits for people because the dynamic is 100% different. Yeah. But now I'm totally using your, thank you so much. Love it. So, but you were telling me that, you know, again, in those first few weeks, you were having fantastic results and those results became your motivation.
Oh, absolutely. Because of course, like prior to the program, when I had lost weight, the one time on my own where I had more than 20 pounds of weight loss, it was exercise that kept me going, I think, in that case. But I had done every program. Honestly, you name them. I'm not going to name them because they don't deserve any lip service from me. But they're all out there. The only one I didn't do was a packaged food, eat your supper in a little frozen thing. Didn't do that.
Yeah.
But all those programs, I'd only lost, like if I managed to even get close to 2 pounds in the first week, that was something.
Sure.
And then at like week 6, it just kind of like you don't even get a half a pound. So I would get to like that 10, 15, maybe I would last to 20 pounds on whatever program it was. And then that would be the end. I would lose momentum, lose steam.
Yep.
But with Ideal Protein, 8.6 pounds week 1. What the Sam Scritchen? Are you kidding me? That was friggin' almost 6 weeks of work on the other programs.
Yep.
That makes you feel amazing, right? Like you feel so good. Not everybody will lose 8.6 pounds, but let me tell you, for me, I mean, even 4 pounds, especially, we talked about someone who's really tall loses lots of weight a lot quicker. I always talk to clients about your height is probably the biggest determining factor. The taller you are, oh yeah. With over 7.5 years of coaching, here's what I know. The bigger someone is, the taller they are, the more fat-free mass they have, the faster they're going to lose weight. So don't be discouraged if you're 5'1", even if you're severely obese, your weight loss is going to be a little slower, but it's going to be fat, right?
Yep.
That said, second week I lost 5 pounds. Then I lost 3.5 pounds. Then I lost 4 pounds. And I mean, it just was ticking off. So, but even more, and I mean, I still have it. Those inches.
Yeah.
The inches were incredible. I mean, I was getting inches when my husband was getting weight sometimes. So I was always encouraged by the inches, and it was incredible. I ended up with this ribbon that was like 8-9 feet long. That many inches lost. It was crazy.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. That's why we do it, right? That's why we do both the scale and the measurements on every coaching visit when you come in, because we want weight loss happens in 3 dimensions. And, some weeks we're going to see that scale move. Some weeks we're going to see the tape change. And some weeks you get both. But, we want to see every ounce of progress possible. That's so cool.
And I mean, life-changing. Why did I make it to 70 pounds? I had set a goal. I was like, if I can make it to 150, that would be amazing. I've been there one time in my life since I've had kids.
Yeah.
And I got to 150 and I'm like, why stop now? I want to go after that better body fat percentage. I want to be super healthy. I want to be fit. So that I kept going. Yeah.
Good for you.
Get to 70 pounds because it was achievable.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, right, too. So the first goal that your client might try with you, it might not be where they end up, right? But it's something that maybe they can wrap their head around. It's, so as a coach, you're always trying to help them out with that. If they come in and obviously they've got a road to go, and they say, oh yeah, if I can lose 10 or 15 pounds, you say, whoa. We're going to open our mind, because this program is so different from anything that, you've tried. Let's risk it a little bit. Let's just try to put a little bit of trust in the program that this is something different, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is about trusting the process for sure.
So, you got hooked on your results, you charged towards your goal, and somewhere along the way, you started thinking about, this might be the career for me. Yeah?
Yeah, what happened really is I'm really fortunate. I have a husband who is super proactive, talks to everybody, anybody. And we got to know, like our clinic had an RDC working with it, where we did our weight loss at Drop Zone in Salmon Arm. And of course, Al was like, oh, this is an interesting business model, how you help people. That's so cool. And actually what happened was at that point, Ideal Protein had gone to the you must be a practitioner model in Canada.
Yep.
And so what was funny was around the same time that Al started to get curious about that, our some friends, they're friends now,
Yeah.
people that Al knew, Chris, a pharmacist in Kamloops, sort of saw Al at the golf course. They always did the charity golf tournaments together and was like, what the heck's going on with you? Al's like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. You know, you don't want to talk about it at first. And 2 weeks later, they golf again. And he's like, no, seriously, I need to know what
Yeah.
you're doing. And he's a pharmacist. He's the science guy, right? Like, he's like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Are you sick? And Al said, look, I'm not going to talk to you about it. If you want to know about it, you got to go to Salmon Arm.
Yeah.
So Chris and Angela, he's a pharmacist, Chris Cameron. We're partners. I'm so blessed. I get to work with a pharmacist, and we opened up Pratt's Wellness and Weight Loss together. So they came to Salmon Arm, did the program, and then he was like, I have never seen anything like this. People
Yeah.
always come to me and want to know, how do I get healthier? And he said, this is it. This makes sense. For him, it was all about the science, right? So yeah, we opened up our business not much after I had reached my goal. Like I was, goal around mid-July, and we opened up at the beginning of September. It was like,
Oh man, that's
it was a
exciting.
whirlwind.
That's awesome. Yeah, right. Right. But again, you just, once this changes your life like that, you want to help as many people do the same thing as possible, right? I mean, that is literally the next step.
It seriously is, John, because you know what? I say over and over, I was a healthy eater. It was, my kids ate brown rice before brown rice. Exactly. Before brown rice was even available in the grocery store. We only ate whole foods, but then as the kids got bigger, we started to, grab your snacks, do your quick eating, that kind of thing, right? But I didn't understand insulin or insulin resistance. This program is what taught me about that. The science, I mean, that's what is transformational. We kind of joked, it was really funny. We had like a partner meeting, probably about a year into the business being open, Pratt's being open. And Angela, Chris's wife, was like, when are we ever going to stop about talking about ideal protein? And it was said in a bit of a joke, because it was like, that's all we talked about. And here we are, like literally 7.5 years later, opening our doors at Pratt's Wellness and Weight Loss, and we're still talking about it.
Right.
It's still relevant. It's still
more
the most
relevant
amazing
now.
tool.
It is more relevant in the world today than it's ever been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. That you found the right coach, the right clinic, when they're crazy like us and can't stop talking about it, right? It somewhat becomes all consuming. The science and the science is never ending. It's evolving right now. So much more is coming to light, and so much more. It's amazing that Dr. Tran created this protocol over 10 years ago, and all of the things that come out now that just 100% validate what he knew back then, right?
Yeah. Well, and actually, I mean, honestly, Dr. Tran has been using his protocol for like almost 30 years. Ideal Protein's been around for about 17 years, but his protocol, he's been helping people, and that's really, he's such a nice man. He's been helping people for a lot longer than Ideal Protein's been around.
Yeah, he is a force of nature. And again, I truly, I want to get back to travel. I want to get back to super weekends and, Ideal Protein trainings, so that, I can see him again and we can absorb, you absorb so much more from the man in person. I'm so glad that we get to see it. He's made these videos and he's been talking and those kinds of things, but yeah, he just has a presence about him that is, you need that once a year to kind of,
Yeah, absolutely.
So that said, next super weekend that's up near British Columbia or Vancouver or wherever that's going to be, man, I'm in.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't wait to hang with you crazies.
Oh yeah. It's going to be so much fun.
Oh, so much fun. All right, let's move on. So you opened this clinic, right? And let me bring up, I've got graphics here because, oh, there it is. Tell us a little bit about your humble beginnings.
Oh, so funny. So we didn't really have a space, but Chris had he had a really small, like tiny pharmacy, but he had a lab where because he's a compounding pharmacist, and he had these two tiny little immunization rooms. So we're like, we'll cut a window out of this wall here. We'll put a little countertop. This will be our little food room. And then the other room will be the consultation room. That's the room where we'll have our appointments with clients. Great. So we got all excited. We, I'll never forget, actually, we're like, probably mid-August, and I was like, hey Chris, how's the hole cutting coming? He's like, oh, I haven't even started. I'm like, dude, we're gonna be seeing people September 6th. You better get on it, man.
Cut the hole.
And get the hole. And so, we got this little countertop, and we painted the walls the ideal protein green and blue, like, oh my gosh, so bright. And yeah,
colors, I love the tones you chose. Keep going.
Yeah, so that was where we started. There was just enough room in the little appointment office for a teeny tiny table. It was like 18 inches across.
Okay.
And just enough room to stand and do measurements, like I'm standing,
yeah, right.
I'm measuring. Like, it was like, don't make the wrong move because you might accidentally touch body parts you don't want to. I'm telling you, it was a very fine, like, you had really good posture. I had really good posture when I worked in that space.
There you go.
But yeah, we were in there for like September, October, November, December, January, February. We're like, we need a bigger space. We need to have another appointment room. We need to hire people. Yeah, it just started to just do the ideal protein role, And so we moved to a bigger space. That lasted 6 months. And then we're like, oh my gosh, we need to renovate this place because we need 3 offices. So that was what we did.
Yeah.
And then that still wasn't big enough. So we ended up moving back to our same building where the pharmacy was located, and we're in a medical building on the 3rd floor, and we converted a dental office, a nice big space, into our place where we currently are. Sorry, I didn't get pictures of that. I don't know. My brain was.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can only imagine though, right? Because when you got started and you got your beta test group, and then you kind of start opening those doors, it catches on like wildfire, doesn't it?
It really does. Actually, it's so funny. A good story that I didn't tell you about.
Oh, I love it.
One of our first clients that we had, Chris's neighbor was a doctor, so he kind of passed on the protocol information, the science, handed it over to him, and kind of said, hey, I want you to take a peek at this. We're opening up this weight loss clinic, blah blah blah. Doctor came back and said, yeah, I had a peek at it, and it makes sense. I'm not sure I agree with everything that's in there, but my wife wants to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's how we built the clinic, right?
Right. Well, because again, now if she gets the results that she's supposed to get, and he sees that and witnesses that and says, okay, I've got some patients that really could benefit from this. Boom.
Yeah, no, and now our office is literally just down the hall from his office. It's kind of fun.
Funny how that worked out. Oh, interesting.
You're right. Yeah.
So I want to shift and get, I really do want to try to get as much knowledge out of you of working with clients as possible. So we had talked a little bit about how you approach kind of your first visit with your client, and kind of developing trust.
Yeah, for us, it really is. Relationship building is how we started, like right off from the get-go. Tell me, where you're at, what it is how you're feeling. Relationship building so that we can create trust. Having done the program and losing, like you said at the beginning of the show, most people don't realize that, I had to lose that weight. That I'm a believer, man. I'm like baptized in this business because
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
changed my life. It
Yep.
changed my life. So when you can relate to your client, it makes all the difference in the world. You can build trust and they're like, wow, okay, so you did it and it's
Yeah.
been this long. I
Yeah.
can do it too. So you build trust and then they can trust the process. That's so important. It
That is
has to
that.
be believable.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
that's
like a key ingredient.
that is, and one of my coaches in my office, she loves that phrase, just trust the process. Surrender yourself to the protocol. But you're right, they can't do that unless they trust you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really important. It's it's not easy sometimes to build rapport with people, but it definitely is worth it. So at our clinic, I'm constantly
Necessary.
working with our coaches, how do we
Yeah.
do it? How do we get below at the bottom of the iceberg? How do we make connection?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that our clients experience can be the best for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I also, in our discussions in the past too, one of the reasons that you do have so much energy and life and personality is because, again, our clients, when they get in phase one and they've been feeling so awful before they start the program, right? They get that phase one feeling when they hit it, right?
Yep. Yeah, phase one is incredible because you lift the brain fog, you decrease inflammation, you have so many crazy positive changes. Literally, I had a client just recently who was like, "It's only been a week," and she came back to the program after some health issues. She goes, "It's only been a week. I have more energy. I feel so much better. I'm sleeping so much better." Like, I mean, phase one gives you that, but phase one isn't all there is.
Right. Right. And so, but the whole concept, and it's so funny because right now in January, we're getting a lot of returning clients who might be, just rebooting, taking some of the holiday weight off or what have you, or they might be restarting because they disappeared and we haven't seen them in a while and fell back into some old stuff. The number one thing that I keep hearing when they come back in is, I can't wait to feel good again. Right.
Ex- exactly. That is the number one thing. This exact same client, the one who said, after the first week, she goes, "This time for me, it's not about vanity. It's about feeling healthy, feeling good."
And that's it. That's the golden moment, right? That's when you know that this may be the last time that they lose more than 5 or 10 pounds. What people don't understand, and what people that my guests, the people that I interview, do understand. When you're living life possible, when you are living phase three the way it was meant to be lived, you have that phase one feeling the rest of your life.
That's exactly it. A lot of people are afraid to transition out of phase one, but the reality is if you follow along, if don't just, think you need to live phase one for the rest of your life, as you transition, you'll see you keep that feeling. It's it's amazing when you follow through, go through the steps, how you can feel that great all the time.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. It really is. It's life transforming, right?
Well, and again, that's what my wish is. That's what I want for every single one of our clients. And I did actually have a revelation that we have not really been coaching from the very outset, from the very beginning. This concept of, and I kind of feel like, when we hit that feeling and they're so enamored with, oh my God, I can't believe I feel this good after a couple of weeks. I feel like it's so important to say, can you imagine feeling this good the rest of your life? Right?
That that is exactly it. I think we work hard at our clinic to try and get our clients to not just look at the scale.
Yep.
It's not just about the scale. It's not just about the inches. Keep track of all the little outcomes, the non-scale victories,
Yep.
right? Because those are the things that you want to keep in your pocket and know why you're carrying on to do all the stuff that you're doing now. Eat all the veggies, drink the water, all that good stuff that you're doing in phase 1. Those all contribute to that great feeling you keep having when you're in phase 3, when you're in maintenance after 7 years, 10 years,
Yeah.
20 years,
Right.
Like it is incredible. I mean, incredible, the things that people can do, the little changes that add up to the big feeling, right?
Yeah. And so that leads me to bring this graphic up, these pictures. Again, in getting to know you, and especially after our first conversation, et cetera, I'm looking and I'm like, wait a second, what is the deal with Cindy and boxing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love boxing. I am so fortunate.
That's so awesome. It's such a great part of your personality.
It's so growing up, I was an athlete. It was that spot where I found my family. I found comfort. I found refuge. And when you are really heavy and you can't exercise because it's too much bloody work, like come
Yep.
on, you miss a part of your life, right? So you go on this transformation journey, you do this thing that I did, you lose weight. But my doctor told me you really shouldn't run. And I was a runner. I mean, I loved long distance running. I was a
Yeah.
basketball player. Those sports, basketball and running, were like my two loves for life. And
Wow.
my orthopedic surgeon said, yeah, no, you don't do
You're
that no
done.
more. What you need to do, gliding sports.
Hockey.
And I was like, dude, what? I don't see someone ride a bike go by and me go, oh, I just can't wait to get on my bike. No way, no. So recently, my daughter, so you'll see the person, looks like it's a far right, all in black. Her name's Jordan Conrad. She's a swim coach, former NCAA athlete,
Wow.
just an amazing human, Canadian citizen. she
Awesome.
she invited me. Hey, you should come try the Looney session at the gym, because she became a boxer, and all my kids were swimmers, so that's how I knew her.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh, okay. I was so intimidated. I was probably the most. I've been in lots of gyms in my life. I was the most intimidated to go into the gym here.
Sure.
And I went, and it was like the funnest thing. And right away, my coach, Peggy, who's on the far left, she was like, you asked me, like, what kind of injuries are we dealing with? And I'm like, well, I got to really nurse my knee. I got to be careful with that. Okay, good. You got to focus on these things. Like right from day one, she was like, this is what you
That's
got to do.
great.
And then last year, I actually joined the gym and started doing the thing. And I was, doing the boxing training. And she was like right away to Jordan. She says to Jordan, we got to get her in the ring. And I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then she just kept pestering me. She's like, we're gonna take you. You're gonna be in boxing matches and all this kind of stuff. Right? So last year I signed up because I was like, why not? I love it. It's so much fun. And started sparring.
Oh
I
my
was gonna.
God, that's
I was
awesome.
going to. I was gonna got punched in the face, got punched in the rib. I mean, actually, we're boxing. We're doing the thing. And I was going to be in my first boxing match last May, but of course the virus postponed that. But we're still working towards it. And May 1st this year will be my first match. And it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited.
Is it going to be on live stream?
I think it will be. What's going to be so funny
man.
is, am I terrible? I want to beat somebody up.
And again, I love the contrast between these two pictures, right?
Oh yeah.
this after picture that you gave me, such a professional, dressed to the nines. And then, yeah, I want to get in the ring and beat somebody up. I love that. That's
Yeah, the
again.
dichotomy of my personality. I'll just
Oh
tell you that
yeah.
much.
Oh yeah. No, that's again, that's what this is all about. That's what Life Possible is all about. You never knew you wanted to box.
Oh no, I had no idea what kind of a
No
passion
idea.
you could have. Yeah. But it's about goals, right? Like you have to have things to work towards because weight loss isn't the be all. Like
Yeah.
when you achieve your weight loss goal, that's not the end of the road. There's so much more. You don't
And
know
I
what you could have in store for you.
and I usually say, okay, so you've reached your goal. So what? What are we gonna do with this now?
Yeah.
Oh
What's
my God, I
next?
feel like $1,000,000. I can do so many different things. What is it gonna be? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's so cool. All right, let's wrap this up. We've got one more significant topic of conversation that I would like to get through, and this being the importance of metabolic health. And Ideal Protein, took on. Thank God they took on this amazing approach, and they came out with a campaign last fall that food is medicine and weight loss is healthcare. Right?
It's honestly from day one, that was the focus of our clinic. Do
Us
we
too.
have clients? Yeah. Do we have clients who aren't so metabolically disadvantaged? Yes, of course we
Sure.
do. But do we have a lot of people who are come to us and they're broken metabolically,
Yeah.
like they are broken, and that's from day one. Like that's what it's about. Why are we doing this? Yeah, we're going to be thinner, we're going to be healthier, we're going to be enabled to do all these amazing things, we're going to be able to set new goals and go where we've never gone before. But more importantly, we are going to fix our insides.
And I
That's
love the way you say that, and just the whole concept of your metabolism is broken. It happened to me. It happened to you,
yes.
and I couldn't figure it out. I had no frame of reference or concept, and I just say, look, when your metabolism goes, it goes, right? And unfortunately, you're stuck, but you're not.
That's isn't that that's it it is not a little pill, but it is the miracle. I think
Yeah.
it is amazing. Our the human body is so incredibly unique. You
Yep.
can repair yourself. You can
Fearfully and
do it with
wonderfully made.
food. Yeah, and weight loss will get you there. Absolutely.
Well, and again, that too is another concept, another phraseology that I like to use, and that I heard last year was, look, this is a food related problem, right? This is an eating related, diet related disorder, and a diet related disorder actually requires a diet related fix.
That is the truth, right? Hashtag truth, put that out there.
Yeah.
Diet related issue needs a diet related
Boom.
fix.
Truth bomb, right?
Yeah.
So, and again, so we have people who are kicking the tires. They're coming into our office. They're talking. You're talking to them at the boxing ring after you beat their butt, and they're like, oh yeah, but you know what? I'm going to this holistic doctor, and they've got me eating tomatoes for my antioxidants, and I'm using turmeric for my aches and pains, and that's a concept for so many people as to how food is medicine, right? But that really just kind of seems like that's off the mark.
Well, the reality is this, John. It's that people want to try and fix a macro problem with micros, with little tiny
Yes.
things.
Oh,
But
oh my God, that mine,
you
you just
gotta
knocked it.
fix it with the macro.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah,
That
I
was,
know. I just came up with that. That's pretty good. Hey, you're inspiring
oh,
me.
that was,
It's true. You can take all kinds of supplements. You can even take fat burner supplements. None of that's going to make you metabolically better.
no.
You can go and get, like, we see a lot of women with hormone issues, right?
Yep.
Guess what? Insulin is the big boss hormone. If you
Yep.
don't if you don't deal with insulin, good luck.
Yeah.
And
100%.
and the way you deal with insulin is food. That's the
It,
bottom line. There's no medicine that's going to take away your insulin issues. It's only going to make it worse.
yep. Hey, you know what? It's January. You know what, Doc? I joined a gym. I'm going to exercise my weight off, and that's how I'm going to go about that. How's that going to work for him?
Yeah, I'll see you next month when you're up 10 pounds.
Right. Right. I'm sorry. Like I said, see that piece of paper on my wall? I went to college for exercise. Okay.
Right?
I've studied exercise all my life, and I'm here to tell you the number one thing that you need to do to restore your foundational health is to fix that metabolism, restore metabolic health. And the number one approach, the best weapon in the fight against metabolic syndrome and metabolic disease and obesity is the ideal protein protocol.
That is exactly right. It is the whole point of phase 1.
Yep.
Fix your metabolism.
And that's so I came up with this model, and I wanted to present it during my my New Year's show, but that was an absolute disaster. So I showed it to you, and you said, absolutely, let's do this, let's flesh this out, and then you just dropped that bomb on it. I mean, God, that was amazing what you just said. So yeah, again, stop trying to fix a macro problem with micros. Reestablish your metabolic health through the protocol, and then you know what? We can put whatever you want in your coffee. We can put collagen in there. We can put turmeric in there. We can do that healthy stuff that you want to do, because none of those things are really going to matter if you are metabolically unhealthy and insulin's driving your inflammation. It's destroying your energy. It's keeping you from accessing your fat tank and even trying to burn fat. So that's why the foundation of that pyramid is restore metabolic health or reverse insulin resistance, carbohydrate intolerance. But then hand in hand with that too, right? You can't reset your body unless you reset your mind.
Oh
But
man, I tell you, that is the next big step, the next big focus. I think are you have goals, right? Like that's a big thing. You right away, the goal is I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to feel healthy, I'm going to fix my metabolism. Perfect. But what's the system that's in place? Where's your mind at when you think about it? Are you thinking this is a temporary change, or is this going to be a permanent change? It's mindset and habits. Those are the systems
yes,
that move you towards your goal, which is ultimately live the best life imaginable, right?
yes,
So
live life possible.
it's not everybody wants to work on this stuff, but I tell you, those who do transform their whole life. And it's about creating new habits,
Mhm.
creating a new mindset, seeing yourself differently, talking to yourself differently, and taking different actions to not only lose weight, but maintain it.
Yeah. And we kind of talked about our love of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, right?
Oh, yeah. It's one
And
of the
and
best books out there that you could get.
absolutely. And one of my favorite quotes of his is that he says, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. And I love how you use that term systems. So it is about placing these habits in place and stacking them in such a way that that's your autopilot, right? So when the stuff hits the fan and all those kind of things, you are just, it doesn't, when you're in a stressful situation, when your life is going to pot, you're going to fall to the level of your habits and your systems. So we need to replace those so that those systems support you, so that those systems are healthy. Um,
Yeah, that's exactly it, John. I think James Clear, what he does a really good job, like very succinctly says, like people hear that terminology out there, or that language of like, oh, 21 days you can create a new habit. No, it takes a lot longer than that, because that habit will fall based on your systems. That it'll be you'll either succeed or fail, and usually it's a new habit, but there's no system behind it, right? So
Yep.
I'm going to get up and exercise. People do that. They do it for 21 days and they think, oh, my life has changed, until something happens and
Mhm.
now they suddenly fall off the wagon of the exercise train or whatever. But it's little tiny things. It's creating a new thinking, like one new positive thought and one new little habit, little habits like journaling. Um, we and one of the best ways that you can do it is journaling. We getting our clients to do that. I say to them, you're like, there's got to be something that you do already every day, every single day, right? You get up, do you make your coffee, that kind of thing, right?
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, okay. I'm like, okay, you make it in the morning. Yeah, okay. So you get your coffee on, you sit down, you take 2 minutes to journal. You can't have your coffee until you journal.
I love
Stack
it.
it, right? So you
Yeah. Love
stack
it.
it, stack the habit on something you do already. It
Oh,
makes it so much easier. And
mind
when
blowing.
you keep doing it, guess
Hmm.
what? That becomes the norm. But
Yep.
you can't just randomly, think, well, this new habit's going to stick. No, it's got to be, you got to layer it all together, right? You got to keep at it, keep at it, keep at it until, like you said, now it's your normal. It's your go-to. It's your way of life, right?
Yes. Yes. Cindy, I wish we had more time. I could talk to you forever, and we demonstrated that, I think, yesterday. I think we went like 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
something like that.
Sorry.
Um,
Yeah.
so I hate to say it, but you are stuck with me now. I consider you a friend, and,
uh,
and just
Likewise.
and I'm so happy that we met. Yes, I will have your client on my show, and any of your clients on my show. So we'll have to move forward with that in mind. So thank you so much for coming on the show. This is going to be so super valuable for so many people. You said some so amazing things, and I can't thank you enough.
John, thank you, because I think what you're doing, man, we got to monetize this. But what you're bringing to people is hope. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're killing me. Thank you. All right. We'll be back in a bit. See ya. Oh man, I tell you, that was just, I couldn't have asked for a better show there. So please send this to your friends and family members and anybody who you feel like will learn from Cindy's words and her experience. Good God, if you are in this place called Kamloops, you have got to get to that clinic and change your life. I wish I could have her as my coach. I wish I could work for her as a coach. So that said, please, we are on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So subscribe to us, share us, please, on Facebook, spread the word. Um, I have a lineup already. My next two shows are actually already booked with guests that are mind blowing as well. Gosh, God has been so good, and He really, I fell into a place of uh, I fell into a place of questioning whether I should even do the show anymore over the holidays. And under no certain terms, He said, "You are not stopping the show." And it's been just He's given me some amazing guests and gifts, starting with Cindy. So I look forward to the future. Tune in 2 weeks for my next show. I am not spilling the beans as to who it's going to be, but her story is so inspirational and unbelievable on so many different levels. And I've only been talking with her today. I met her on Facebook. So, but I can tell you it's going to blow minds. So until then, keep pursuing, figure out and start pursuing what your life possible is. I'm out.